I always thought I'd be the kind of person who had a story that sounded impressive. City life, the apartment with just enough quirks, the brewery down the street where they knew your order, a park view, friends who called it the dream. That was Denver, and it all made sense. Until it didn't. Rent climbed, daycare climbed, groceries climbed, our patience thinned. I caught myself standing at the kitchen sink scraping dried mac and cheese, listening to my daughter cry in the next room while Luis took calls for a job he barely recognized, wondering if this was it. Then, on a trip to visit family in New Mexico, we missed our exit and landed in a tiny town so quiet it felt like the air itself was holding its breath. A faded for sale sign in front of a plain house, grass patchy, paint chipped. Our kid pointed and said, "My grass!" We laughed, drove on, but the idea stuck. Back in Denver, that little house kept popping up in my head like a ridiculous pop-up ad I couldn't close. Every reason not to move sounded scripted. What about careers? What about friends? What about falling behind? But the city had stopped making sense, and the math, especially the life math, didn't add up anymore. 3 months later, we were packing boxes into a dusty Subaru, saying goodbye to good coffee and that casual city energy. The first week out there, the house felt smaller than I remembered. The grocery store was half-stocked. The playground was faded plastic. My camera roll was nothing worth posting. Nights were quiet, almost too quiet. Our daughter found her rhythm first. She slept through the night, woke up without rushing, and made up wild stories about dinosaurs and the moon. Dinners happened at the table, not wedged around meetings or takeout containers. We started recognizing neighbors who waved just because. I realized I'd never known my city friends' kids as well as I already knew the woman at the checkout who asked about ours. There was less, but there was more time, more sky, more of us. Luis came home before sunset, still had energy to walk. We missed things, sure, but I stopped feeling like I had to prove anything, even to myself. Now, when I tuck our daughter in and stand in the doorway, I get it. This chapter is smaller. It's not flashy, not easy to explain, not the kind of story you lead with at parties. But it's ours. It feels real in a way that the big city never did. If you're listening and wondering if you're behind just because you stepped off the right track, maybe the right track was never really designed for what you need. Thanks for letting me share this. Maybe that little bit of quiet is what you're looking for, too.